Hi everyone, welcome to this short video series on project management for video games. My name is Alan and I'm in my second year at the game development program at Centennial College. In this first video, I'll talk about what project management is, the different approaches to it, and how it is like for making a video game. But first things first, what is project management? Project management entails making sure your team is on schedule within the work timeline. That means being organized with dates, knowing when to assign tasks, and checking in with the team. It sounds simple, but it's actually a lot of work. If done well, the project succeeds and your game gets done and shipped. If not, then all of your team effort can go down the drain. Here are a few things that project manager has to deal with. Designs, timelines like for example, starting dates and due dates, budgets like how much is allotted to each part of the project, team members like part-timers, full-timers, when to hire people, when to have people doing their parts, methodologies like Agile or Waterfall, and softwares like Unity, Unreal, or any other software that will be used during the game production. This might sound a little overwhelming, but it's actually what makes the project go much smoother. Let's start from the beginning. Waterfall and Agile. What are the management methodologies and which one should be chosen? The waterfall method is a plan-driven approach that means everything's planned before the project starts. There's little room for iteration and the project has to follow exactly what's been planned for. On the other hand, we have Agile. It's an adaptive approach, which means it adapts to the situation and changes according to its needs. There's a lot of iteration and the plans are changed according to the needs of the project. It focuses on efficiency. Now that we've talked about the methodologies, let's talk a little about the stages of game development. First, we have planning or pre-production. That's when you start thinking about the game. What is your game? How are you going to make it? Why are you making the game? What are its mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics? This is where you ideate and concept. And most importantly, why is your game fun? Following the pre-production, there's the production stage. This is when you iterate on the design and features of the game. And here is when you deliver the project definitions. You start testing your mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. You're already making the game at this stage. After that, there's the testing stage. This is when you start testing for bugs. And when your first real version comes out, the alpha, you start playtesting the games and do all of the major adjustments. After testing comes the pre-launch. This is when the marketing starts. The team starts going to events to showcase the game. There are trailers done, and the second playtesting version is released. That's called the beta. Minor adjustments are done at this stage. And finally, you launch your game. During the launch stage, you fix bugs, polish the game, and release the final version. That's called the Gold Master. And that's it. You've shipped the game. And if you think that's over, no it's not. There's still the post-production stage. This is when you release patches, updates, and possible DLCs for your game. And this is when you wrap up everything, and you're done with this project. Now, let's talk about some other important things that manager has to deal with. First of all, scope. It's important for the managers to define the scope of the project. This means the amount of work outlined to be done in the project. That means the manager defines what has to be delivered and who is going to deliver what. A very important reminder, don't overscope. Second, there's game capacity. This refers to how much work can be done with your set resources. That's usually your team within a period of time. Capacity is your limiting factors, so it's important to identify them early in the game. Next, the manager should think about the delivery plan and timeline. This should include the concept, prototype, alpha, and beta, and the gold master. The concept is the overarching idea of the game. It is what you're making, backed up by researching to which audience and which mechanics to support this process. Prototype is the first test of what you're trying to make. And then you have the alpha and beta, your first playable trials of the game. And finally, you have the gold master. That's the version you're releasing to all your players. After finishing the overall planning of the game, the manager to start planning the sprints. Sprints are short periods of time in which the manager defines which group or which parts of the team should finish what in what time. This will help the team clearly visualize what's being made and what has been completed, what's late and what needs to be rushed in order to make the game work. At this point, the manager has to start monitoring the teams to make sure all of them are working within the timeline and delivering whatever they have to deliver, so the other teams are not disturbed in their work. And lastly, the manager has also to do risk management. That means they have to predict and try to come up with contingencies and mitigations in order to make the game work out in the end. The goal is to be the most effective, making sure the game is still being shipped without any losses. So that's basically the overview of what a project manager does in a video game production. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to watch part 2, in which I will talk about some of the project management tools that are used in video game management and how they can help you make your games big success. Thank you very much, and see you next time.